Girl, Truth and Uncut, I'm coming to you today with what's in the room. What's in the room? Obedience is better than sacrifice. It's time for us to walk in the obedience of God like never before and hear Him loud and clear. And when He give us the grace and to move and the anointing to move upon something, we need to move within that time and within that season that He has given unto us. Because if we don't, guess what? We're going to go through the sacrifice of not moving on the obedience. So whatever it is that He's told you to do within these last 24 to 72 hours, and you've been overriding Him, I'm telling you, baby, you better begin to hear God like never before. Because guess what? Your obedience is better than your sacrifice. I'm telling you, it pays to obey God. And your breakthrough is tied to someone that you're shunning. Your breakthrough is tied to someone that you're overlooking. Your breakthrough is tied to someone that God has divinely ordained for you to connect with. Your breakthrough depends on your obedience. You have now reached the place and the point that you need to obey God by any means necessary. This is your time and your season and your turn. And as long as you out here doing what you want to do, going where you want to go, I'm telling you, you are holding up your process of breakthrough and manifestation. But it depends on you. Your obedience is better than your sacrifice. Get out of your own way today and allow God to lead, guide, and direct you from this point on. There is nothing too hard for God. God can supply your every need, but you have to come into divine alignment with the will of God and the plan of God for your life, for you to receive everything that you are supposed to have in this hour and in this season. And some of your doors, some of your faith doors are coming through your divine connections in this hour. And if you're just in a place existing and you're not moving and going anywhere, I'm telling you, my friend, you're in your own way. Get out of your own way. Have God sent you where you are? Did He tell you to relocate to where you are? Did He tell you to do what you're doing? Is He in what you're doing? Is He in the plan of your day? Is He even in your day period? Are you praying? Are you seeking Him? Are you talking to Him? We got to begin to obey God by any means necessary in this hour. Stop making excuses and stop lying and just begin to obey God and stop self-sabotaging ourselves and talking ourselves out of the blessings of God. You know, sometimes we can hold up the blessings of God by standing in our own way. God told us to go one place and we chose to go another. And you thinking God gonna bless you? No, God not gonna bless you. He gonna hold it up until you come into divine alignment to where you need to be in this hour and in this season. And if you're not going to do it His way, He's going to allow you to do it your way. But just know, when we open a door on our own, we have to remain and keep that door that we open. It's just like if we step out and we go and get a house with somebody and God has not told us to do so for such a time as this, guess what? We got to remain and keep that door open. And yes, we're going to encounter things, but it won't be as bad when we step out in obedience than taking that sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. I'd rather do obedience than sacrifice any day, because there's so many times in time past that I was not at this point, that I was obeying God like I am now. I'm telling you, and I sacrificed a lot of things, by not moving out of obedience, and took a gambling with my life, and it was not worth it. Why? Because it set me back from moving forward, to what God really has for me or had for me. Some blessings I forfeited. Why? Because of my disobedience. I didn't move in his timing. I didn't go where he told me to go. I didn't connect to who he told me to connect to. I didn't reach out to who he told me to reach out to. I didn't move. So obedience is better than sacrifice. And sometimes when we don't obey God, it causes us to be stuck. It causes us to be stagnated. And it causes us to take on more problems and things of that nature, than it does for us just to go on and obey God. We got to begin to shut the mouth of the naysayers and allow God to be God and move out of the way of those that don't want to see us prosper. We've been down too long. It's time for us to come up. It's time for us to have what God calling for us to have in this hour and in this season. And if we are in the wrong with the wrong connections, we're not going to see it. Why? Because it's not for us to get with where we are and who we're with. If God told us to go and do something else, and we're just taking off and doing things on our own, we got to get out our own way and allow God to be God like never before in this hour and in this season of our lives. We got to begin to cross every T and dot every I. No, we not going to begin to we're not going, what I'm trying to say is their failures will come, but they're coming to see how we're going to react and how we're going to respond. Will we give up? Will we throw in the towel? Will we keep going? Or will we just stay stuck and say, I'm not being bothered with this, and just go back to doing what we want to do, going where we want to go, when God has strategically planned out our now move to our next move, from our now to our next. We can sometimes self-sabotage and talk ourselves out of the blessings of God by, staying longer than we intend to, if we just passing through a place and passing through a situation and circumstance. Sometimes we can stay there longer. We're just doing it from place to place, and getting the same results and thinking that something is going to change. We cannot be afraid of accountability in this hour. We cannot be afraid of change. We cannot be afraid of failure. And sometimes all those things can be scary. And sometimes we can also forfeit the blessings of God by not moving in the timing of God. God will change his mind. A lot of people say God won't change his mind. Yes, he will. He'll change his mind. He won't. If people are waiting on you, and you know that you have a assigned destination, or you have a assigned assignment, then God will not allow them people to be held up. He will send somebody else to do your job. And I'm only speaking from experience. I done seen it happen. Years ago, God told me to do something, to start a certain business, and I didn't do it. And next thing I know, somebody right up under me, a woman of God in ministry, she started doing what God had told me to do. And I was like, wow. I said, God, you told me to do that, and I didn't even move on it. So with that being said, in this hour, for those of you that God has called you and strategically told you what to do concerning your God-ordained spouse, you better come into divine alignment, because your breakthrough is tied to that husband. Your breakthrough is tied to that wife, and you need to begin to bring yourself into divine alignment to get what God has for you. And if you decide to forfeit the blessing, guess what? God is not going to continue to allow that man to wait until you decide that you want to step out and you want to respond. And God is not going to allow that woman to continue to wait until you get through doing what you think you're big enough to do, because you're not ready to, face the challenges of this new walk, this new life. You want to do good, but you are allowing other things to stop you from moving forward. Get out of your own way and stop self-sabotaging yourself. You're self-sabotaging your blessings, and you're talking your own self out of them. Well, I'm just going to wait. I'll just go here tomorrow and take care of this. No, you need to move right now. Get out of your own way and hear God. If you know that that woman have what you need to be trying to get with her. If that man keep calling you woman of God, stop putting that man on the back burner and begin to reply and respond to him, because he's not going to continue to wait for you to get through playing, Russian roulette with him. He'll be done went on to somewhere else and asking God to begin to remove you, and God will replace you. Don't think that you're not replaceable. Be you male or female, you are replaceable. And guess what? If God showed you who your God ordained spouse is, then guess what? Your blessings is tied to that individual, and that's the individual that you need to be connected to, regardless to what the naysayers are saying, regardless to what, how they feel. It's not about what they think. It's not about how they feel. It's not about in what they say. It's about in what you do and how you're responding and reacting to the timing of God and the movement of God, and you study prolonging the time. Okay, now you prolong the time long enough. Get out of your own way and allow God to be God. She just may have the next instructions for you. He may have the next instructions for you. You saying, Lord, I need a word. Lord, what to do? Lord, where to go? You stopping yourself. Connect with that husband. Connect with that wife and allow God to begin to lead, guide, and direct you. You just never know where the prophetic word is coming from. You just need to move up on and act up on that which God is calling you to in this hour and in this season. Well, that's been your What's in the Room. Obedience is better than sacrifice, my friend. Get out of your own way. Don't continue to talk yourself out of the blessings of God. We can have talk all day long with no action. It profits nothing. So be careful. Be watchful in this hour and in this season. Be blessed. Until next time, yours truly, Raw Truth and Uncut.